$84 trillion is set to change hands over the next 20 years. Whether you're passing it down or inheriting it, the decisions you make today will shape your family's financial future for generations. Welcome to the Great Wealth Transfer, where David Paulsini, CFP, guides you through the strategies, insights, and pitfalls of navigating one of the largest financial shifts in history. What you don't know could redefine your legacy.
If you won $10 million today, what would you actually change about the way that you live? Would you move somewhere else? Would you stop working? Would you spend more? Or would you just worry differently? What's interesting is that when I ask a version of this question, most of my clients, they don't say they completely changed their lives. And that's true for a lot of people. In fact, the most common answer that I hear is, honestly, I wouldn't change much, or it really wouldn't change anything for me at this point. Okay, so, and that's the part that surprises people. A lot of people who answer that way, and this is the surprising part, are not multimillionaires already. But they're not living extravagant lives, right? They're not chasing luxury. They're people who built a life that already works. So their spending already matches their values. Their days look the way that they want them to look. They enjoy their routines. They have their relationships. And for a lot of folks, just their sense of normalcy. So they're not waiting for some future number to give themselves permission to be happy. That doesn't mean that they don't care about money. It doesn't mean that they don't want a plan. These folks still want clarity, and they still want to be efficient. And by the way, they still don't like paying taxes. But what it does mean is that money stopped being the thing that defines whether their life feels successful. And that's an important distinction, especially as people move closer to retirement. Because as I've said, retirement isn't just about how much you have. It's about whether the life you've built actually fits you. So if more money wouldn't change much at all, that's a sign of clarity, not limitation. It tells me that you know what's enough, and it tells me that you've already built a life that you don't need to escape from. Think about that for a second. Would the $10 million just help you escape from something? So when it doesn't, and when that's the case, retirement becomes less about chasing more and more about protecting what already works. So I'll leave you with this. If $10 million wouldn't change much about your life, what does that tell you about the life that you've already built? Make it a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Great Wealth Transfer Podcast. If this podcast resonates with you, reach out to 6 Point Financial Partners at 585-485-6048 or email dpaulsini@sixpointfp.com.
Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security or engage in any specific trading strategy. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Results will vary. Past performance is no indication of future results or success. Market conditions change continuously. Information here is provided in part by third-party sources. These sources are generally deemed to be reliable. However, neither 6 Point Financial Partners, Private Client Services, nor RFG Advisory guarantee the accuracy of third-party sources. The views expressed here are those of 6 Point Financial Partners. They do not necessarily represent those of Private Client Services, RFG Advisory, their employees, or their clients. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by 6 Point Financial Partners or RFG Advisory, or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives through Private Client Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory LLC, RFG Advisory, or RFG. A registered investment advisor. Private Client Services, 6 Point Financial Partners, and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place.